Hello, it's me, and as we did a 180 degree solution of a 3x3, I thought maybe it would be fun to do a 180 degree solution of a 4x4. So the main reason that I'm doing this is, I kind of get it, because let's say you don't have a lot of money to spend on a lot of different puzzles. There's a lot of cuboids that are out there, so what better way to make best use of the collection that you have by just applying certain limitations or restrictions? You can easily convert this into maybe a bandaged cube, a burr cube, a wall cube, just by applying tape or just variably bandaging it, or just applying restrictions to just do 180 degree turns. If you do that, you're basically taking it to the last step of any of the cuboids. You go to the cuboid form and then you just do 180 degree algorithm turns. So this is really the same thing. So let's navigate our way through this and see what kind of similarities we can get. Now the one parity algorithm that we did with the 3x3 was one that caused these two to flip, these two to flip, and then these two to flip. The 2x2 version, the even version of this, the 4x4 version, will only cause these two to flip, but not these two. So in many ways, it's actually easier to do it that way. So this parity algorithm, just to flip these two, is really the same kind of thing, except it has one key difference, which is in the middle. So that's going to be, if you wanted to flip these two, you're going to slice it in between these two areas over here. So 2U, 2R, 2F, then you slice it again, 2U, then you slice it again up above that to another 2U, then 2F, 2R, 2U. And what you did is you flip-flopped these two. So that's the even numbered version of that. In many ways it's a lot simpler because you didn't mess these up. So with the odd number parity, you had to bear that in mind. In this, it's just these two. So in many ways this is something of an easier solve. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. So we'll go ahead and do 180 degree scramble with this. I'll come back with this with the strategy and the solution to this after I'm done. Abracadabra. Okay, that's pretty good. So it's all scrambled up pretty well. So the approach to this, now remember when we solved this with just 90 degree turns, we collapsed this into a simpler puzzle. That's kind of what we're going to be doing here. But what we're going to do is, before we got the centers in first, and then we edge paired, and then we basically solve the corners like a 3x3, placing the newly paired edges. Well, we're not going to do it that way, not quite that way, because we're going to be relying upon parity algorithms to put a lot of our centers where they're supposed to be. So the way that I would start off with this is we're going to start off with edge pairing. Now that's going to be particularly easy with this particular strategy because everything that should go in here is on the same plane. So what do I mean by that? Well, here's blue and white. Where's the other blue and white? Right over here. So I want to put this just opposite and move it in. Now I'm not caring about what's happening with these centers here. I'll tell you that by the end of this, the centers, you either want this formation where you have two stripes, or all of them solved. What you don't want is this crisscross formation, and there's ways of avoiding that. So if I just go 2U through here, all of these are going to be solved. This is pretty good, this is pretty good over here. So now we just do the one that's 180 degrees, that's 90 degrees from that rather. So we've got red and yellow is here, same thing, turn this here. Now the problem with that is I just made a crisscross pattern, which I'd said I'd really rather not do if I can avoid it. But I'm going to let it go for now because even though, say I put all these in, this is a crisscross pattern, it might wash its way out as I solve these guys over here. So green and red right over here, double turn that here, and then move it in. So we're okay. No crisscross, no crisscross, no crisscross, and all these are paired. Now occasionally you're going to get to a situation where you're going to have them all paired, but one, or if not one, then two are going to be in kind of a crisscross pattern. That would be a situation like this. Notice all of our edges are paired, yet you've got a crisscross pattern over here, which we can't keep. So what we're going to do is we're going to make use of the fact that we could actually variably turn this by using middle slice turns and not really affect the edges. So here's what I mean by that. If you ever see this situation, hold it where the crisscross pattern is in front of you. I don't know if you can see that with the resolution of this, but I'm going to go like this, turn this middle slice 180 degrees. So you can see that we pulled these edges out. Then I'm going to move this around as well, 180 degrees like that. So I pull that slice back. So it put these out, but now I'm going to put this back in. Notice I created a crisscross here. So move this back. So these are put back in, and now we're going to do another similar middle slice over here too. And you can see we've paired all of our edges and we took the crisscross pattern out. That you can probably solve just fairly intuitively by trial and error, so that's no problem. Now the next step is we're very tempted to put our centers in. The only problem with putting our centers in now is because this is an even number, if you were to take this apart, you'd realize that none of these show us what the core looks like, which means you can put the centers wherever you want to put them. Now I know that this is either going to be green or blue, and this is going to be green or blue, but the question is which one is it? So we don't really know. So in a case like this with these even numbered, because you can't rely on the centers to orient you, you've got to calibrate the puzzle so that it's in the proper position so you know what center goes where. And the thing about this puzzle that is always going to be constant is going to be the corner placement. So let's go ahead and put the corners in a way that makes sense. So here's green, red, and white. So let's find the other green and white, which is green, white, and orange, which is probably down here somewhere, right over here. So basically I want to turn this up like so. So this is where it needs to be. So I'm going to start defining this as my white side and this is my green side. So as you recall, it's fairly easy to do the rest. Put this here, put this, because I have the other greens over here, green and yellow, and put this over here. So what that does is this gives me a consistent corner placement over here. What this also does is it guides me as to what is what edges, what's our side. This is our red side, this is our green side. Don't worry about these edges right now, we're just worried about what side is what. So because this is the red side, I need to move the red stripe over here. So how am I going to do that? Well, this is calibrated, which means I don't need to do much more in terms of motions from the sides. It's all going to be parity algorithms to cause swapping. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and swap these two with that parity algorithm that I was talking about. Now because this is in the middle, when we do our U, it's going to be here and it's going to be here. When we do our F, instead of turning from here, it's going to turn from in here. The overall effect is we will swap these two. These two will potentially be swapped as well, but we don't worry about that yet. So we'll do our algorithm, 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U, and we got it. So we got these two. Now how about the green? Well, I got to put the green in here. This is oriented opposite. As you can see, I don't want to switch this with this. That will be a blue for a blue. So I'm just going to turn this 180 degrees so I can swap this for this and then turn it back. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U, and we got it. And we'll just turn this back to make sure we're still calibrated. Now finally here, this is our white layer. So I need to move this white into here, swap these two, double turn this here, and then do our parity algorithm for this. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. So we got it. For those who can't afford a lot of the cuboids, this is kind of a fun way of getting the same thing out of it because you're using the same algorithms that I use in order to solve it. But now what I've done is I've now collapsed this pretty much into the 3x3 version of what I was talking about. Now we just have to put these in and solve it pretty much the same way with 180-degree turns. But I'm not going to be doing 90-degree turns, right? So it has to be parity algorithms. So let's see if there's any clean swaps. This and this can swap. Now I don't have to worry about what happens here and here in this particular case. It's going to be a clean swap between these two. But now my F move is just going to be here. So 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. And you don't have to do the 2F at the end either. So swapped and swapped. So let's hunt around for more stuff. Why don't we just put this here and this here? This will be a clean swap to here. This will be here, but it'll have to be swapped again later. But that's fine. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. Now if I wasn't clear with what I meant that this comes in here. This is the right color, but this isn't. But that's okay because now I can swap. I can do a swap from here. Obviously I don't want to do that here, but if I swap this to here, this will be fine. Then this to here, what will happen is then I can swap these two. So let's do it. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. This is actually good training for the cuboids because this is pretty much what I do when I solve it. So now we can do a clean swap between these two, 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. That's good over there. Now let's see what we got. These two can swap. This will come here, this will come here. And once I do that, then I'm going to swap these two. So this green and white will come here, this white and yellow will come here. So this will be cleanly where it needs to be, and then these two can swap at the end. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. And now we have one more to go. 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U, and it's done. So there's your 4x4 Rubik's Revenge 180 degree with a slightly different version of that parity algorithm, which will serve you well when you start doing the 3x4x5 and all that good stuff, because some of those cuboids you have to mix and match. Sometimes you do the even number version, sometimes you do the odd number version. So, hope that helped. Thanks for watching.